Hello students, I am Suja Shaju. Welcome to biology class. In the last class, we discussed some of the criteria based on which animals are classified. Hope you all understood that. Let's fast recollect the three criteria that we discussed in the last class. So, which was the first criteria that we discussed? The first one was levels of organization. In that we discussed 4 different levels. Which are they? Cellular level, tissue level, organ level and organ system level of classification or organization. The second criteria was body wall. Based on the body wall, there are 2 types of animals. One is diploblastic animals, another one triploblastic animals. And the third criteria that we discussed was symmetry. Based on symmetry, animals are classified into 3 groups. Asymmetrical animals, radially symmetrical animals and bilaterally symmetrical animals. Now in today's class, let's discuss about the remaining criteria. So the fourth criteria that we have to discuss is the coelom or the body cavity. Please note the spelling body cavity or coelom. Here O is silent. Okay, so it is not, don't read it as colon, it is coelom. Right, coelom is nothing but the body cavity which is lined by mesoderm. Now what is mesoderm? You know that there are 3 different embryonic layers or germ layers. Which are the 3 different germ layers? Outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm and inner endoderm. So the mesoderm, that is a middle layer, if the body cavity is lined by mesoderm, such a body cavity is called as coelom. Hope you got it. So what is coelom? The body cavity which is lined by mesoderm is called coelom. Now based on the presence or absence of coelom, the animals are classified into 3 different groups. Which are they? The first one, acoelomate. From the word itself, I think it's very clear. Acoelomate means without a coelom. Means animals in which body cavity is absent. Body cavity is absent. Such animals are called as acoelomate animals. So you may get a definition. Define acoelomate animals or define acoelomates or what are acoelomates. So what will be your answer? The animals in which the body cavity is absent. They are called as acoelomates. Example is phylum Platyhelminthes. So the name of the phylum is Platyhelminthes. You must have studied this in your school. 9th standard, I think you have studied some of these phylums. So in that, one phylum is phylum Platyhelminthes. Under this phylum, all the flatworms like tapeworm, liver fluke, all that come under this phylum. So if a question is asked, give examples for acoelomates, you have to specify the names. If the question is what are acoelomates, name the phylum in which you find the acoelomates, you have to write phylum Platyhelminthes. So example is Platyhelminthes. Hope it's clear? Right. Now the next group. So this is a picture to show the body cavity. So here you can see this is the outermost layer which is called as the, look at the cursor, okay. This green colored layer is the outer layer which is called as the ectoderm and this blue layer is the endoderm. So in between the ectoderm and endoderm you don't find any cavity or any space. Okay, so that means body cavity is absent. Such animals are called as acoelomates. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is coelomates or eucoelomates. EU stands for true. The animals which have a true body cavity. Now why I use the word true? Because body cavity only if it is lined by the mesoderm. can be called as a true body cavity. So the animals which possess a body cavity lined by mesoderm, such animals are called as eucoelomates or just coelomates. Both are one and the same. So what are coelomates? If a question is asked, animals in which the body cavity is lined by mesoderm are called as eucoelomates. Example, all the animals which come under the phylums starting from Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata and so on. From there onwards, all the animals possess a true body cavity or possess a coelom. Now, in this diagram, the first diagram, you can see the outermost layer is the ectoderm. Here you can see the mesoderm. This line is a, look at the cursor. Okay, so this blue line is the mesoderm and inner blue line is the endoderm. So in between endoderm and mesoderm, you find a cavity, right, which is not colored, and this cavity is a true body cavity. Hope it's clear. So these are coelomates. So what are coelomates? Coelomates are the animals which have a true body cavity which is lined by mesoderm. You have to mention this word. The animals which have a body cavity lined by mesoderm are called eucoelomates. Example, Annelida to Chordata. That means all the animals which come under these phylums. Okay. Now the third group of organisms based on the body cavity, they are called as pseudocoelomates. Now what are pseudocoelomates? See, I have told you that there is an outer layer called as the ectoderm, a middle layer called as mesoderm and an inner layer called as the endoderm. So where is the cavity found? Cavity will be always found between the mesoderm and the endoderm. It will be found always between the mesoderm and the endoderm, the body cavity. So the body cavity will be lined by mesoderm. Now, in certain animals, we find the mesoderm as scattered pouches. Okay, once again, we'll go back to that previous slide and I'll show you that pic. Okay, so in the middle picture, this one, this one, can you see? Please note the cursor where it is. So this one, you can see the outer layer which is green in color, which is that layer, that is the ectoderm. And inner one more complete layer you can see, that is the endoderm. In between that, can you see some pouches, some small circles? These pouches are nothing but the cavities, small pocket-like structures which are lined by mesoderm. So this is the mesoderm. So the mesoderm layer is not complete. Instead, they are found as scattered pouches in between which two layers? Ectoderm and endoderm. So if a body cavity is found between ectoderm and endoderm and the mesoderm is found as pouches, scattered pouches, we call such animals as pseudocoelomates. And such a body cavity which is not completely lined by mesoderm, but the mesoderm is found as scattered pouches between the ectoderm and the endoderm, such a coelom is called as a pseudocoelom. What's the meaning of the word pseudo? Pseudo means false, isn't it? So pseudo means false. So false body cavity. Now why is it called as false body cavity? Because there is a body cavity but it is not completely lined by mesoderm. Instead, mesoderm is found as scattered pouches in between ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, so such animals which possess a false body cavity or a pseudocoelom are called as pseudocoelomates. Hope it's clear? Okay, now I'll show you the definition. So how can we define pseudocoelomates? Pseudocoelomates are the animals in which body cavity is not lined by mesoderm but scattered. What is scattered? Mesoderm is scattered as pouches in between endoderm and ectoderm are called pseudocoelomates. And example for that is Aschelminthus. How to pronounce this word? Aschelminthus. Okay. So these Aschelminthus members are the roundworms. The worms like filarial worm. Okay, there are a number of roundworms. Most of the roundworms come under this phylum of Aschelminthus. So phylum Aschelminthus, they possess a pseudocoelom. So you may get a question, what is a pseudocoelom? What is a pseudocoelom? Then you have to write from here. That is, pseudocoelom is a body cavity which is not lined by mesoderm but scattered as pouches in between ectoderm and endoderm. They are called, that is called as a pseudocoelom. And the animals which possess a pseudocoelom, they are called as pseudocoelomates. Hope it's clear. So the fourth criteria is about the body cavity or the coelom. Hope you got it. Yes or no? So based on the body cavity, animals are classified into how many types? 3 types. Which are they? Acoelomates, pseudocoelomates and eucoelomates. What are acoelomates? Acoelomates are those animals where the body cavity is absent. And eucoelomates are those animals where the body cavity is lined by mesoderm. And the third group, that is the pseudocoelomates, are the animals in which the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm, but mesoderm is found as scattered pouches between ectoderm and endoderm. These animals are called as pseudocoelomates. Okay, you have to remember the examples also. For a coelomate, example is Platyhelminthes, and for pseudocoelomate, the example is Aschelminthus, and for eucoelomates, all the animals from phylum Annelida to phylum Chordata. Hope it's clear? Right. Now the fifth criteria based on which animals are classified. The fifth one is cephalization. Cephalon means head. Cephalon means head. So cephalization means the process of formation of head, that is called as cephalization. Process of formation of head. So you will you know that the lower animals which come under phylum Porifera or phylum Coelenterata or phylum Ctenophora, they do not have a proper head. The body is not divisible into head and the body, right? The body is not divisible into head, trunk and the tail. There will be no particular head. Okay, we cannot make out which region is head. So, but as the animals evolve, as we go to higher phylums, we find animals with a head. So that is another criteria based on which animals are classified. So you may get a question, what is cephalization? What is cephalization? The process of formation of head. Okay. Now, the next criteria, that is the sixth, segmentation. You know what is a segment, right? What is a segment? Right, a small part of a line, we call it as a segment, right? In the case of animals, sometimes I think you all must have seen earthworm. Have you all seen earthworm? Right, this is an earthworm. Now, if you have observed earthworm's body, you must have seen number of small partitions, right? You can count these segments. So just see here, you can see each one, there are certain lines on that. These are not simply lines, they are all compartments or segments which are arranged one after the other. And these segments divide the body both externally and internally. Means it is not only outer layer that partition is found, it is found internally also. So each part will be fixed to the other part. Just like if we arrange coins as a pile, one coin after that, each coin can be considered as a segment. Okay, so just like that, here earthworm's body is divided both externally and internally into small segments. Such a segmentation is called as metamerism or metameric segmentation. Metameric segmentation or metamerism. Each segment is called as a metamer. What is it called as? Metamer. So what is metamer? That is, in some animals, the body is divided into different compartments or different segments, both externally and internally. That word is very important. Why? Because In the case of cockroach, I think you all have seen cockroach, right? I can see the smile on your faces when you saw this cockroach in somebody's hand. Some started smiling, some started saying ooh, ah, and all that. Okay, anyway, so this is a cockroach, right? And in cockroach's body also, can you see these segments? Each there are lines, but in cockroach's body the segmentation is found only externally. It is not found internally. It is only superficial. Only the outer exoskeleton has the segments. Inside there are no. It is not complete. It is not complete. It's only externally. Such segmentation cannot be called as metamerism. Okay, so metamerism is found in only phylum Annelida. Why? Because there the segments are divided, the body is divided into segments both externally as well as internally. Okay, it is just like boxes which are arranged one behind the other. And in each segment you find organs, and the next segment also you find the same organs. That is, repetition of organs will be found. Okay, so in each segment there will be certain organs which you will find repeatedly, and such a segmentation is called as metameric segmentation, or that phenomenon of segmentation is called as metamerism. Have you understood? So what is segmentation? In some animals, body is divided both externally and internally into segments with serial repetition. Serial repetition as in earthworm. Such a segmentation is called as metameric segmentation, and each segment is called as a metamer. So example for segmentation is phylum Annelida. Okay, phylum Annelida. Earthworm comes under that phylum. Okay, now cockroach, it is not, it is just segmentation but not metamerism. Hope it's clear? Right. Now the next seventh criteria of classification is the pattern of circulatory and digestive systems. So there are two different types of digestive system. One is called as the open complete digestive system. Another one is called as incomplete digestive system. So you have studied about digestive system. Which are the parts of the digestive system? Begins from mouth, then esophagus, mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine, and finally anus. So now the complete digestive system will be having two openings, one for ingestion and the other for egestion, not injection, it is ingestion, ingestion. Ingestion means taking in food. So we human beings, for example, take food through our mouth and the undigested food will be eliminated out through the anus. Okay, so we have two openings. Such a digestive system where there are two openings, one for ingestion and another one for egestion, egestion. Such a digestive system is called as complete digestive system. The second type is incomplete digestive system. So incomplete digestive system is found in lower animals, the first few phylums like phylum Porifera, phylum Ctenophora, phylum Coelenterata, etc. So in these phylums, animals which come under these phylums, there will be only one opening. That is for taking in food as well as for giving out. There is only one opening, that is the mouth. Such a digestive system is called as incomplete digestive system. Hope it's clear. So what is a complete digestive system? A digestive system which has two openings, that is mouth and anus. Incomplete digestive system is a digestive system which has only one opening, that is mouth. The same way, circulatory system is also based on the circulatory system. There are two main types of circulatory system. One is called as the open type. Another one is called as, what's the opposite of open? Closed. So open type of circulatory system and the closed type of circulatory system. Now what is open type of circulatory system? In open type, blood vessels are absent. Now what are blood vessels? Hope you know which are the blood vessels. Arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay, so in the case of an open type, blood vessels are absent, means the arteries, veins and capillaries are absent. Then how the blood flows? The blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and tissues are bathed in it. Means the blood will be in constant circulation in the body, not through the vessels, it will be bathing all the organs and the cells and tissues. Such a circulatory system is called as open type of circulatory system. So what will be a closed type of circulatory system? Right, the blood flows through the blood vessels. In a closed type of blood, circulatory system, blood is circulated through the blood vessels, that is the arteries, veins and capillaries. Hope it's clear? Yes or no? So that is all about the 7 different criteria based on which the animals are classified. Okay, so let's fast recollect all those 7 criteria in order. The first one, levels of organization. Second one, right, I can hear body wall. Third one, symmetry. Fourth one, coelom. Fifth one, cephalization. Sixth one, segmentation. And the last one, patterns of circulatory and digestive systems. Hope it's clear? Right. So we have completed the criteria based on which animals are classified. Now let's see, based on this, how is animal kingdom classified? Animal kingdom is classified into different phylums based on the different criteria. So here you can see this is a kingdom. Which is a kingdom? Animalia. Right, this is Animalia. Now next is level of organization. Which are the levels? Cellular level, tissue level, organ level and organ system level. So in cellular level we find the next level is symmetry. So cellular level, asymmetrical, there is only one phylum, which is that phylum Porifera. Okay. Second one, tissue, organ and organ system level. So the remaining all the phylums will be either tissue level you find Coelenterata and Ctenophora, then organ level you find Platyhelminthes, organ system level all these. So now after that there are 2 types of symmetry, radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. So in the first phylum Porifera there is no symmetry, that is asymmetrical. Then radial symmetry is exhibited by 2 phylums. One is Coelenterata, another one Ctenophora. Here C is silent. Ctenophora, Coelenterata and Ctenophora. So these are the 2 phylums which exhibit radial symmetry and tissue level of organization. Then the remaining all the phylums exhibit bilateral symmetry. So what is bilateral symmetry? The body can be divided into 2 equal halves by a single plane passing through the median longitudinal axis. I hope you remember that. Okay. Now bilateral symmetry, those animals which exhibit bilateral symmetry, they are divided into 3 different groups, that is acoelomates, pseudocoelomates and coelomates. Acoelomates without a body cavity, one phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. Pseudocoelomates are the animals which have a false body cavity and the phylum is Aschelminthes. Third one, coelomates. All these remaining phylums. Which are the remaining phylums? Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, then Hemichordata and Chordata. Okay, here they have given Echinodermata twice, it's only once. Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. So totally how many phylums are there starting from Porifera? 1 Porifera, second one Coelenterata, third one Ctenophora, fourth one Platyhelminthes, fifth one Aschelminthes. Please look at the cursor. Then sixth one Annelida, seventh one Arthropoda, eighth one Mollusca, ninth one Echinodermata, 10th one Hemichordata and the last one Chordata. Hope it's clear. So there are totally how many phylums? 11 phylums. There are 11 different phylums which we have to discuss, which we have to study. So hearing these names, some of you who are from Kannada medium, you must be feeling it very difficult how to remember all these names. So watch this video again and again so that you can get the proper pronunciation and then you can study that easily. Okay, so daily repeat these 11 phylums. Which are the 11 phylums? Once again, Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, then Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. Hope it's clear. So you have to study this classification of animal kingdom. Hope you understood what we discussed today. Okay, so don't get scared of listening to all these different names, especially those who are from other medium other than English medium. Okay, so don't get worried about all these names. Just keep on reading it. You'll be able to understand this. Hope whatever we discussed today is clear to you all. Okay, thank you.